What's going on, everybody? How you doing? This is the Sports Counterpoints podcast. I'm GB. Brian next to me, Coop online from South Central Hayward. What's going on?
From now,
What's up? Live on location, huh?
Man, back to it. Back in Southern Cal, kicking it with bro. Today is August 20th, 2025. So we're talking. I got a question for the guys I like to ask. Also, as anybody watching, checking us out, when you post us or you add a comment, whatever the case may be, let us know your answer to this question as well. We'll talk about the NFL training camp and preseason check-in for our teams. We'll talk about some boxing news I heard today that you guys I don't think know about quite yet. So kind of get some raw reactions on that. NBA making some scheduling changes. And then we'll go through our normal segments. So getting started, man, I wanted to ask you guys, and for anybody listening, wherever you listen to your podcast, leave us your thoughts as well on the comments on YouTube or Facebook, etc. Y'all know how to get in touch with us. What athlete's career would you want, Coop and Brian? So, and then actually, we'll say sports. It could be a coach. It could be just someone sports related. Whose career would you want? And you're getting everything that goes with the career. So there are bad parts. You got the bad. You got the good. You get the whole joint. Your whole everything. Who would you take?
Brian, you start.
I go with Tiger Woods. There's a lot of good and bad. Obviously, accidents, shortened career. This is a man who's one of the largest earners in sports history. Still making $100 million a year, even at the end of his career. I know it's got to be very, very frustrating with all the injuries and knees, backs, ACLs, Achilles now. But you can't argue with the ability to play a sport that he could be competitive long into his 60s. May not be competitive in the PGA, but don't think he couldn't go into the senior tour and kick everybody's butt. Not necessarily what he wants to do, but the point is that he's the greatest, in my opinion. He's been very successful on and off the golf course. And it would be hard to think of anybody who's got the level of longevity, greatness that he has enjoyed. The alternative to that is like Kyle Orton, a backup quarterback who had like a 15-year career, made plenty of money, more money than I will ever need in my lifetime, under the radar, and seems to have had a little bit of fun. I don't know, but I'd go with Tiger Woods. Obviously.
I'd think. I don't want to do no backups. I don't want to do no fired coaches. Cool. What you think?
Well, Tiger Woods is the obvious choice, but I won't pick that. I'll go somewhere else. I'm going to go with Steph Curry. Steph Curry. I think is. They said his career earnings are going to surpass probably $1 billion. He makes a bunch of money. I think 55, $60 million a year.
Smart businessman.
Right. He's going to have over $500 million, $600 million or so in on-court salaries by the time he's done playing basketball. Longevity doesn't look like his body is broken up. Still looks relatively healthy. Still can play looks like a good 4 or 5, maybe even 6 more years. I don't think he'll do a LeBron type of thing, but he keeps himself in great shape. Business, like you said, Brian's a businessman. He's doing his thing off the court, and he's very low key. He's not, all out there. He's not on social media doing all this tweeting and stuff. He's, not a drama king or whatever. He seems like he's a leader to me. I mean, he's able to corral people and get other great players to play with them. So if I had to pick somebody's career, if it's not Tiger Woods, man, it would be Steph Curry, because Steph Curry, even though he's a superstar, he flies under the radar for a superstar, if that makes sense. So it would definitely be him. But if it was a backup quarterback, Brian, it'd probably Chase Daniel. I don't know if you remember him, but was a backup for a long time. And he made, I think, over $40 million as a backup, and he was terrible. But yeah, so it would be Steph Curry for me.
Man, this is there's so many like greats. You could be Jordan or Kobe or one of those. Rest in peace, Kobe, because you got to take it all, right? But
yeah, good and the bad.
Man, I was just watching that.
Jordan would be a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best.
Not a lot of bad there.
He was like one of the best, crazy gambler, but always had money, could play golf, basketball, could hoop anywhere. Probably still could give you 25, depending on where you're at. And just, I was watching this thing on the Bobcats too, was saying like how they didn't win, but from a business standpoint, he flipped a profit on it, made money out of it. So you got that. Yeah, man. I like the concept of Rory recently. Rory McIlroy actually getting the 4 and what he's done. Scotty's playing some good golf because I'd love to be a good golfer.
Yeah.
That would be, so I see why you said.
And Scheffler is an interesting one because he has so much fun with it. He still talks about playing handicap golf with his buddies at the local club where, he's got to give them shots and he still loses to them because he's got to give them, 20 shots,
25 shots a round. Yeah. But you know what? There's like enough, like honestly, I'd want to say someone like it's weird, but like almost like a Pete Rose. It sucks because you got out of baseball, but he was like crazy nice when he played. Like Pete Rose was an amazing, but
I'm not sure how much money he made, but yeah, he was good.
But like a Wayne Gretzky.
You would lose a lot of bets.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Wayne Gretzky or something like that. Just somebody that was just phenomenal in their field, but just super nice. I think of Phil Jackson. I think of Brady.
I thought of Phil Jackson too.
I thought about Popovich and Kerr.
We're gonna lose Pop. But you know what I might go with because of the Raiders is Charles Woodson.
Okay.
First, top high pick, played in Oakland, had actual success in Oakland, part of the Tuck Rule game, went to Green Bay, played great, got hurt. They still won a Super Bowl. He's kind of been all of it. Now he has the liquor, he has, his other businesses, and now part owner of the Browns, and I get to be a Raider. So I might actually say Charles Woodson.
Okay. Hey, Brian, I just looked up. Chase Daniel made $41.8 million. He only started 5 games his entire career. That's crazy.
That's what I said. The only other obvious option me was a backup quarterback.
Yeah, Kyle Orton made a lot of money too. You're right.
I can't, the only thing is like as an athlete, I just even like the idea of fired coaches is like if you're a coach, you're John Gruden and you love football, like he does. Yes, you can go to TV and make billions and zillions. It's great, but like you love this thing. So if you get fired and can't do that thing, I feel like that's gotta be.
For some people, it's frustrating.
Some people are this backup. You're just Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? Like, you were nice all these years, and now it's just like.
But that's why I picked Kyle Orton of the back because he never wanted to be a starter, and they used to interview him all the time, and he would say, "I love being the backup quarterback. I love not, they paid me a whole lot of money to be ready to play one game, maybe a year." He embraced it. He was happy in the role. I get why some of these other quarterbacks would be so frustrated that their career never really took off to the same extent that it should have, or
agreed.
Think of a bunch of other players, but like the Carr, David Carr. That's frustration, right? So many things that could have broke one way, broke another way. One thing I found amusing in this whole conversation was not a single person mentioned LeBron.
I thought about LeBron.
Right.
But
it wasn't even in my mind.
You talked about Jordan and Kobe, and I thought about
but I didn't want to go just money, but like he was transformative in the game, but I also think Bron had
but you know
different pressures, and then also
he didn't enter my mind. LeBron never entered my mind when we asked this question until you just said something. It never entered my mind.
I mean, mine either.
When y'all were talking about money, he's going to be a billionaire. So
but he still never entered my mind.
And he has a dubious, but although a squeaky clean image. I mean, real people know real things.
Well, so does Curry. Pretty much.
Yeah. But anyways, he was not somebody who was on the list of people. Even though from a money perspective, he was obviously great. Obviously is great. All his impact things, but he was not somebody I was like, what I'd really like to be is him.
I don't think coming out with the target on him from the jump, all the media,
much respect.
Like, all the stuff he had. Like I wouldn't want to go through all that.
He was the first social media NBA superstar. The other athletes didn't have to deal with all that. Now some of it was his own doing.
Yeah, Jordan. Agreed. Jordan couldn't have done Jordan the way he did it.
No. Not being covered 24/7. No, not at all.
No, it would have been a whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Real talk.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I like this kind of stuff. So good answers, guys. All right. So let's just stay, since we were talking Jordan LeBron, let's stay NBA first, because I don't think it's going to take a while. We'll go backwards and end with the NFL.
Okay.
NBA, we just were talking about this. So West Coast games, and as someone that lived on the East Coast, I understand, shout out to any of the East Coast listeners, a 7:30 p.m. start for the Lakers meant a 10:30 start when I was in Atlanta. So to Brian's point earlier, before we got on the show, I would watch. There was a whole finals when the Lakers played the Celtics in was that 2000? We won 08, right?
Yeah, we
so
won later, but
2007,
that's when we
then
lost.
the year before, 2006, 2007, when it was the finals. I saw half of the games. I saw the Celtics games because we were on the East. All the West Coast games I would see by halftime because I had to work. Now, those 7:30 games, in some cases, as Jason was reading earlier, for low profile teams like the Kings and Trailblazers, will push those games to 8 p.m., which would be
8 p.m. Pacific. Yeah.
8 p.m. Pacific, which, okay, cool. That's not too much later than what it is for us now. However, on the East Coast, that's an 11 p.m. start.
That's still a late start for like going to any event that isn't on a Tuesday.
You're not getting out there until 11:30.
Yeah, you got to get back. I mean, that's midnight. On a Tuesday.
If you're close.
It's not even a Friday or Saturday or Sunday or Sunday weekend game.
Well, you're not doing it unless you're off. Like for you to get to LA to watch a game at 8, to get out at 11ish, to get in traffic and get here by 12:30, to be asleep by 1:30.
But now that we're talking about it, remember, no East Coast teams are going to be playing. It says no East Coast teams will be involved. So I'm thinking that's probably for West Coast ratings only and not for East. So I think they know
it's not. I don't
want to watch.
I think this backfires. I just think this back. At 8 o'clock, if I start watching a 3-hour game, 2.5 hour to 3 hours, because it's nationally televised, so it's always a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And the chances of me being able to watch that entire game, or let's say I'm younger, don't mind, staying up that late. I've got other things that I want to be doing at 10 and 11 o'clock.
For sure.
And then, from the reality of it is that most of the time when I'm going to a game, I'll go into the office. My day ends at 5. I like a 6:30 game on the West Coast because it works. I'll be downtown already. I go over to the arena, watch the game, get done by 9:30, home by 10, bed 10:30ish. It works. It's
a regular day.
Yeah, 7's a little bit of a stretch unless it's a Friday, but 8. That takes a whole different thing. I honestly think this backfires. I know that they're trying to find a way to get ratings. I think this creates, this is what I was saying earlier, in college football, there's a lot of East Coast bias, and that's because all of their games get seen by everybody. We watch, on the West Coast, we watch their early games, we watch the midday games, we watch their evening games, and then late, and then we watch the late games, which we enjoy. It's a Saturday night, sitting around, that's a good time to be able to watch a game. People on the East Coast are like, nah, damn that, I'm going out or
sleep.
Or going to sleep.
Yeah. So Brian, I disagree. I think there's no impact at all, and this is the reason why, because people don't watch the NBA anyway. No one watched the first 6 games of the NBA Finals.
I think that's an extreme example. It was not no one. Maybe not as much as we want.
Way less.
Okay. So
I think it goes further down.
The first 6 games of the finals, it was the lowest ratings in over 30 years. Only people watched Game 7. So I don't think that many people are watching right now.
Who was in those finals again?
Exactly. There it is. So what I'm saying,
that has less to do with people watching the sport and more to do with the teams not having media market.
Okay, so the team. Okay, so now you got Sacramento and Portland. So now who's going to watch them? So I'm thinking the same people that were watching Sacramento and Portland before are going to be the same people watching Sacramento and Portland again, and they're going to try to get a new audience. I don't think
the first game that I saw on the schedule had Golden State in there, so maybe they were playing Sacramento and Portland. The first game I saw on schedule when I just went to the schedule was Golden State.
They're a draw. You have to have something, but I don't. I mean, if you watch basketball, I think 7:30 to 8. What's the difference if you watch basketball and care?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a half-hour dip because the thing is, a 7:30 game don't tip off till 7:40 anyway. So I mean, it's not starting till 7:40. So you still got that time to get them bets in for them 10 minutes. So if it starts 20 minutes later, I mean, I don't know that'll be a big. I just think I don't think it'll be a significant impact, but we'll see.
We're talking about going to the game versus watching the game, like all these things.
Yeah.
Right. Like if we're here. I mean, that's almost right now.
It's background noise if we're watching the late game, unless it's our team.
It's just slightly later, right? Because it's 7:30 start. We watch 7:30 games. We've been doing that. So now you go a little bit later. We're just not to halftime yet. At 9, you know what I mean? So, but you're right. By 11, if the game's not close, and it's 10:30. I'm about it there.
Yeah.
But to Coop's point, I'll do that at 5:30 too. So, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, we'll see.
what
He'll be
happens. Yeah, we'll see what
interesting.
happens.
They're
Interesting
trying something.
thought. Something to talk
Yeah.
about, right? They try with the cup, and NBA
Yeah,
is
they're
trying to
trying.
do some things to mix it up, but we'll see if it does anything. So,
Yep.
speaking of mixing it up, another cool statement that works. I don't even think you guys knew this, so I told you. Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul agreed to a fight. I don't know exactly when it is, but I wanted to get your thoughts with Jake Paul, who's been in social media, but also in boxing and boxed, who he's actually boxed. Most
nobody
would say it's nobody's, right? There's no,
Mm-hmm.
it's been the money.
Nobody's and has-beens out in prime,
Right. Tank Davis is still a name. I don't know,
and that Tyson fight was fixed.
No, he's good.
I don't watch a ton of boxing, so I'm gonna just put that out there. So I don't know, but I know who Tank Davis is. I can say that. Even if
he's a real fighter.
Right.
But in this instance, they have him fighting out of class. I don't know the weights yet, but I know Gervonta Davis is tiny in comparison to Jake Paul. So I'm going to guess that this is out of class. They are nowhere near.
Well, you have to say that it's an
Okay.
exhibition. It says it's an exhibition fight.
Of course it is.
Yeah,
it's an exhibition.
Any
Jake Paul fight,
exhibition.
exactly. It's an exhibition.
That's
Exactly. So
the reason they call it exhibition is that nobody can come back and get mad at him for fixing it or whatever happens.
there it is. There it is.
It's just an event. It's not
Could he, wouldn't he have to be like a real fighter and try to go up the ranks to actually get a real fight? Like you can't just jump in and say, I box now. Let me fight with somebody.
He's had sanctioned fights. But in those sanctioned fights, you have to be within certain weight classes.
Yeah, well, you got
to.
Mike Tyson is not a sanctioned fighter. That's a.
I don't know how that works. Like if you're a PGA golfer, you qualify, you can play, but it's not like I can't just walk up like, hey, put me on the tournament today. Like I got to go through the steps. But okay. Do you guys think so? Go ahead.
Look, I like Gervonta Davis as a fighter. I like watching him fight, but at the same, he actually almost lost his last one, but it was a really close fight. A really, really good fight. But I'm just not really interested in Jake Paul like that. Will I watch it?
I don't like watching jokes either.
People aren't.
It might be on the background, but I'm just not really a big Jake Paul guy. That's just me.
Sports people aren't. Social media people, kids, they're into it. They're gonna, and because he's a social media influencer.
I watched them all though.
I haven't.
I watched the Tyson. I watched
Tyson.
Who else did he fight?
Tyson should have whooped his butt.
He has a 12. He has a 12-1 record.
I saw Floyd.
I saw Floyd and Tyson. That's it.
Did he fight? Did he fight Nate Robinson? No.
But the only reason I saw Floyd and Tyson because it was Floyd and Tyson. If Floyd and Tyson wasn't it, because Floyd and Tyson were in it, is the only reason I watched. I was just hoping that Floyd would get knocked out, even though I knew it wouldn't happen. I was just hoping he would. And then Tyson, it was just good to see Tyson back in the ring. It had nothing to do with Jake Paul. You know what I mean?
Floyd wouldn't agree if he was going to get knocked out. And then, like you said, Tyson getting back in the ring. Like we knew that was obviously this was off the bread.
Right.
Sure.
I feel like
when he started pulling his punches, that made it a joke.
Yeah, and we knew it was when it started, but we had hoped. Some part of us hoped that we'd see the old Mike, at least for.
I won't watch this fight just because it's not a real fight. There was.
So.
I shouldn't say it. I won't pay to watch this fight. There's new ways and methodologies in which I might see a fight for free.
Yeah, if it's on. I didn't know what the weight class thing. That makes a lot of sense because you want to.
Jake Paul's way bigger. Yeah.
Handicap the fight, right? Like, and Jake Paul isn't stupid. He isn't gonna take a fight he can lose. And my initial thought was Tank is a real fighter who is real technique.
Yeah.
Jake, it's been working like he's trying to box. So to me, it gives.
No, he's not trying to box.
I think does this give Jake Paul does this give him some credibility and take some away from Tank?
Nah, it's an exhibition. I don't think anybody cares. Jake Paul is 6'1", 227. Tank is 5'5" and a half, 135.
135. I just looked it up too. That's what I was just doing.
It's like
it's almost 100 pounds, man.
I mean, what kind of fight?
That's me fighting Alyssa.
This is the conversation we talk about. This is the conversation with Dredd, isn't it? Where it's like, could a lightweight knock out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
Okay, so that changes things. I didn't know.
Flyweight against a super heavyweight. A flyweight versus a heavyweight, man. This is like. Come on.
Okay. All right.
It can't be. It's about 8 pounds short of a 100-pound difference.
Yeah, it's a game.
Like if Paul knocked him with all his force, hit him in the head, this dude's gone. Davis is knocked out. I mean,
Yeah, Gervonta Davis is about to negotiate some headgear.
exactly right. Yeah, something. Yeah, no headshots, like a Roy Jones and Tyson fought or something. You know what I mean? No headshots.
Right.
Seriously.
Okay. Okay. That's all right. Well, then in that case, yeah.
The point being is it's too much of a gimmick to take it too seriously.
Right.
Because we're talking about fighting, and I know that this happened recently. You know, UFC just signed the new deal with NBC, and it's ending all pay-per-view fights as of a couple months from now. I don't know if you guys saw this. They're going to be televised on NBC, on the Peacock network, the streaming thing, without any pay, and they're paying them, billions of dollars. I want to say it was like 20-something billion dollars.
Damn.
Covered the cost. Yeah.
The real question is one question is they've gotten a lot of coverage from ESPN for UFC. Well, ESPN does not cover any sport that they do not also televise. That's not possible for it to be on ESPN, ABC, or whatever. With them being exclusive on NBC, I wonder, I'm asking this question of both of you.
Yeah.
You know, when ABC, ESPN, Disney, the mouse basically says, okay, I'm done now with UFC, does it hurt the sport? Now they've got this whole television platform, right, with NBC, but they lose ESPN, ABC, and the mouse.
The additional.
Does it hurt?
And that's a lot of coverage. I mean, we don't like ESPN all the time,
right?
But if you're not on ESPN and you consider yourself a sport, I don't care if it's cricket, people don't watch it.
I watch Sports Center religiously, regardless of what.
So
how I feel about ESPN.
By the way, well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. What you think, Coop?
Yeah, I don't watch ESPN. I think UFC is like a niche. There's some people who are just really into it, and some people I'm more of a boxing guy, not really a UFC guy. But don't get me wrong, I've watched some UFC fights. Somebody tell me, oh, so and so was fighting. I forgot the Nigerian dude, Adi Asanya. I've watched him a few times. You know, and I don't pay for that mess anyway. So you know, I don't mind watching it. But to Brian's point, ESPN covers the hell out of UFC.
They're not going to.
Yeah,
7 years, $7.7 billion.
Damn.
$1 billion a year.
Yeah, that's
$1.1 billion a year for 7 years.
I mean, they're probably gonna have to hire some people.
The fighters get money because they've been getting robbed. You know, Floyd Mayweather made more money in one fight than most UFC, the great UFC fighters have made in their entire career.
Yeah, forever. Yeah. Right. I'm thinking maybe they might have to hire the people from ESPN that cover it, or just find guys themselves that are going to cover it, because I don't know if they'll do it as well as ESPN. For what I understand, ESPN, I guess, does a good job covering UFC, but I'm sure NBC will find a way. I'm sure they probably hashed that out in their deal or something. I don't know. I'm not really a big UFC guy, so I'm not even sure if I'm the person to really ask, but I know if there's a fight that, you know, people say is supposed to be good, I mean, I might tune in.
I can get on my
I'm a casual UFC person.
Yeah, and that's right. But 1.1 billion. Anyways, the only thing I hope is that the fighters get some more money because they've been getting robbed. I won't watch it anymore because it's on Paramount, NBC, Peacock, all that other good stuff.
We didn't really watch anyway.
I watched it when people were like, Jonathan's in town. The fight's coming on. I'm like, hey, you want to watch the fight?
So Jonathan's a big UFC guy?
Huge.
Oh, really? Okay. He's one of it. So is Abdullah. Abdullah's one of them too. Big UFC,
I never really cared, to your same point. So I don't know that it grows or doesn't, or it's probably the same thing as the NBA at games at 11. It's people that enjoy it and watch people that don't.
Yeah.
In order to fulfill a $7.7 billion deal, they need the market share to increase, not stay flat.
Well, if they want to keep getting,
that's the gamble, right?
Absolutely,
They're gambling a whole lot of money that they can make $7.7 billion back over 7 years. If you look at all the money that had been made from all the fights previously from on the pay-per-view front, they have not made that. So this is obviously a gamble that if it's no longer pay-per-view, they'll be able to sell the advertising dollars at a point where it makes sense, right?
Right. I mean, I can see it working. Seriously, I can see it working. Not saying it will, but I can see it.
I mean, for
a lot of people don't watch. You were talking about how they don't watch the NBA. A lot of people don't watch sports in general now. Not because they don't enjoy it, but because they get to see it in 30-second clips on TikTok and IG and all that the next day. They get to see the big plays. They get to see, you can watch SportsCenter and feel like you did not miss anything of importance in all of the football. Like I watch it because I I enjoy the minutia of it, right? And it's a good way to kill time and de-stress and all that other kind of stuff. But a lot of people in general don't watch it. I never feel like I've missed out on not watching a UFC fight because the fights have 30 seconds of action that I need to see that is going to be on a clip on IG 15 minutes after the bell.
Yeah, that's what I used to always say about the NBA. People don't watch it; they consume clips. But people actually watch NFL and college football, though. They actually watch those sports. I'm not saying some people don't consume it, but a lot of people actually watch games, especially women. Women watch a lot of NFL, a lot.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Like, it doesn't change anything for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, word. And then NFL, man, what a day of segues. I like it. Straight to the league. Training camp. So, Coop, you mentioned this, kind of checking in with our teams. Let's start with the Niners, man. What you think? Y'all just got a new wide receiver too.
Man, let's start with the Niners, okay? We got about 25 injuries on our team, okay? Mac Jones just got hurt, who's the backup. Now they're considering playing Brock Purdy in the preseason finale, which, of course, you never play your starters in the preseason finale. Right? No, but still, you never play your starters.
Y'all just signed Nate Sudfeld or whatever too, right? Y'all got a squad.
Man, Nate Sudfeld, man, he's been gone.
Backup quarterbacks are great.
But yeah, man, it's just they got to find another quarterback to try to take up some space for the next game. Running backs, got 4 running backs hurt. Couple we just got from the draft. It's just all about injuries, man. Like, who's going to be healthy? I just read an article I was telling you guys before we started that the 49ers are looking for receiver help because we got 5 receivers down. We only got really one healthy, decent one. That's Ricky Pearsall. Everybody else is, I don't know who these people are.
You just got a receiver right now.
Right, tell Ricky to stay away from San Francisco.
You just got a the team's named after. You guys just got Sky Moore today from the Chiefs.
Who?
Sky Moore from the Chiefs.
Okay, well, we need more. Okay, that's 2. 2 people ain't gonna make it. So it's just injuries, man. And then there's a guy that they drafted named Alfred Collins. He's been on the defensive line. He's been a big disappointment. Everybody else has been okay, but he's been a huge disappointment. So going to that game in Seattle, man, it's gonna be pretty rough. The injuries, guys not playing. We got a receiver we got from the Rams. He has a DUI, so he's gonna be out for maybe 3 or 6 games. We've already got Ayuk out already. Guys on defense coming back from ACL injuries and, a lot of hamstrings going on in training camp. People can't practice. So, I don't know. We might have some healthy bodies. We just got to look for healthy bodies, man. So I don't know.
At least Debo doesn't look good. So that's cool.
I haven't kept tabs on him. I don't know what he did, but yeah. It's all about he did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Contract. Is it contract year?
I think always when you're that age, but yeah.
Shit. But yeah. So this is all about injuries. I mean, we just have to see what happens and who we trot out there the first game of the year. I don't think we might have a fully healthy team to maybe week 6 or week 7, but that's what it's all about right now for the 49ers is injuries.
That's tough.
But I do want Brian to go next because I want him to discuss why Minnesota is looking for receivers when they got a top 3 roster in the damn NFL, right? That anybody looking at
we appreciate your support as far as our roster goes.
It's stacked.
Starting team. With the wide receiver, Jordan Addison is going to have a few games out at the beginning of the season. Justin Jefferson has a strained hamstring right now and has not been participating, although he's supposed to go back to practice, I think, either today or tomorrow. But on the wide receiver front, they were looking for a little bit of depth, maybe somebody to get him through this last game, also somebody to hopefully fill in a little bit in weeks 1, 2, and 3 when Addison's down. Hopefully Jefferson's fully back. But that's the reason for the look at the wide receiver position. We made a trade today. It is actually Harrison Phillips, not Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith is our safety.
Yeah.
Who's been great for us. Harrison Phillips was a starting level defensive tackle.
Okay.
But we went out and spent a whole lot of money on the defensive line. And Harrison Phillips found himself as the odd man out.
Yeah.
His salary is $7.4 million. The Vikings, so I just looked it up because someone called me earlier. The Vikings actually agreed to pay $4 million of it when they traded it to the Jets for a 7th-round pick. So they have a couple $1 million in salary cap savings for what is ultimately a player who wasn't going to make their rotation, who was a little bit overpriced, given his ability to produce. He was a solid player.
Yeah.
And so he's off to the Jets. Wish him well. But anyways, the only thing I've been reading, there really has not been as much information coming out of camp as I'd like to see. Everyone is talking about JJ McCarthy and how he seems to understand the moment, and he's saying the right things, and he's got the team's confidence. And they're talking about what happened last year when McCarthy would still spend a whole film session with JJ McCarthy, even though he wasn't the quarterback and was injured, to try and get him ready for now. Everyone tells me about how, going from Harbaugh to JJ McCarthy is the reason why people have so much confidence that JJ McCarthy is going to be good. Everyone talks about his accuracy and how he can hit players in the numbers when he needs to and put it out front and all this other good stuff. I still haven't seen enough from the dude to be able to make my own assessment. So, I'm just,
all it's going to take is a year.
He's a second-year rookie. That makes sense to folks as he was injured last year.
Red shirt.
I obviously want him to be successful because I also understand that we have what should be a really good defense, what should be a lot of talent at a lot of positions. We've got two really good tight ends. We have, Jordan Mason and now is our backup running back. I think he's also very solid. We've got two of the best wide receivers. It's certainly top 3 wide receiver duels in the league. And we have a very good offensive line. So, one position that can mess up a team in a heartbeat if they don't hit it all cylinders is the quarterback. That's a lot of pressure to put on JJ McCarthy. I totally understand that, but that pressure is there. And I think, hopefully he handles it well and performs as well as our quarterback last year or better.
It's only going to take a year. If you can't win with this roster, what roster?
Well, but that's the whole problem, though, is that the way the Vikings have been managing the salary cap, they only get a year, right? They do this and they get one big swing, and then they've got to blow it up for whatever reasons. So it's hard when that big year, this big swing, is a rookie quarterback's year. Because there's not a lot of history, and even though he's a second-year player, he's still a rookie. And there's no history of success in year one for rookies getting to where the Vikings obviously hope that they have a chance to get to, deep in the playoffs or better. We'll see.
Oh no,
it's all good news. I'm not hearing, they're not prepared, or the coaches don't, want to see this or step up, or. JJ McCarthy saying all the right things. It's like, one of the best things that I get to do every single day is play against one of the best defenses. So, I lick my wounds when it doesn't go my way, but I understand that, if we can do something on this team, there's a lot of teams we can score on in the league. Yeah. That's all the right things to say for all the right reasons.
Yeah, having a good roster helps, but just because you have a good roster doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Like Andy Dalton in Cincinnati, that was a Super Bowl level roster. He couldn't win a playoff game, so I don't think JJ will be that bad. But well, it'll be interesting. The Vikings are the most interesting team in the division, so it'll be fun to see.
We'll see. Fair, yeah. Raider wise, we just played the Niners last week. Had a lot of friends at the game. Shout out to all the homies that went.
Oh, good. I didn't watch none of it. Just saw highlights at the end.
I watched the beginning. Ashton Genty had a couple of nice runs. Pretty much what you expect of a Niner Raider game, even preseason or not. They usually are pretty competitive and exciting enough even in a preseason situation. For us, it's going to be all about what the defense does. We got a lot of veteran linebackers and Devin White, Roberts, and Jermaine Pratt. We lost a lot of players on the defense, like almost all of them. New safeties, like new everything throughout, new corners. So It's going to be how the teams all mesh together. Offensive side, if you can run the ball and keep the ball out of harm's way, you have a chance. So I think from what I'm seeing, I'm excited about it, man. I know a lot of people still out on Geno Smith. They don't know. I think it's best quarterback we've had since Carr left. So we'll see what that does. He throws an accurate deep ball, and as long as you're keeping the ball out of harm's way, like I said, we'll be all right. So while I was out in Vegas with Coop, I got some money on the Raiders to make the playoffs, and the Chargers not to. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm ready for football. That's all I know.
Well, I guess I'll divulge my 2 bets then. I bet for the 49ers to win division. I also bet the Dolphins will not win 7.5 games too. That was the main ticket. Dolphins will not win 7. I just think they're going to be terrible, but we'll talk about that in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I think it'll be bad.
To everybody listening to, we're gonna one more 2-week cadence, and then we'll be weekly as we get into football, because there's too much to wait multiple weeks when it's football season. Every week is important, so we'll be on that soon. But yeah, I'm excited to see, man. New Madden came out, so I'm getting to run with the roster a little bit. It's not the same, but it's cool to see. I mean, we got some young receivers is going to be the other thing on our side. So we got to see what they do, because it's not beyond Jacoby Myers. There's nobody proven, and even in that case, a lot of people don't know Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby and Myers.
Exactly. So
okay.
So
law firm.
Yeah. So
right.
Excited for football, man. Anything else out of any other teams that you guys thought of, seen, or like, oh man, this is interesting to me?
I just
like
saw
what I'm
one
hearing
thing.
about Cam Ward.
I saw one thing I called out about a couple of weeks ago when I said Daniel Jones, when he signed with Indianapolis, he was going to be the starter. They gave him $14 million. He just got named the starter over Anthony. Yep. Anthony Richardson is pretty much done. I mean, they gave it a rural. I don't hate teams for taking chances on quarterbacks. Sometimes just don't work out. Which
I don't know if you guys have seen the meme or the post related to Anthony Richardson, but they're talking about all these rookies. He's younger than Cam Ward. He's younger. Yeah. He's younger than almost every single rookie quarterback this year. Anthony Richardson, and the point was they gave up on him too soon. He was young. They should have adjusted for that. But anyways, we'll see. He might resurface somewhere else. That's how you end up as the backup in Minnesota, right? Daniel Jones.
Well, and hey, if there's ever a time we're seeing Baker Mayfield, we're seeing not Stafford, Darnold. There's guys that are, not a ton. Flacco, guys that are making a resurgence. So it's not over for him. But we'll see. I think part of it, he was, what do they call it?
Very inaccurate.
But there's a phrase for like he was like a victim of his draft position. I don't know if that's the phrase.
Well, it's not his fault.
I think that's right.
Yeah, if he was drafted later, no one even cares about this.
Right. It's like the Niners drafted Trey Lance. It's not Trey in the top 10. Yeah, it's not Trey Lance's fault he got drafted that high. I mean, the 49ers made that decision. I mean, that's not Anthony Richardson's fault Indianapolis took him that high. Nobody's blaming him,
Speaking of Trey Lance, they're saying he looks good with a real coach, man. That's crazy.
Is that right? Is he going to be the backup?
I don't know about the second part. I just heard that he looked good in the preseason game. I just want to see what you're going to say.
See, remember I asked you guys before the podcast started, the one player that you guys wanted to be good, and he just didn't turn out. Mine was Trey Lance. I mean, I really wanted him to be better than Jimmy G. I really did. I wanted him, but everybody knew. But let me tell you why the question came up, because Glenn, a Raider fan asked me, who you think is a bigger bust, Jamarcus Russell or Trey Lance? And I had to think about it real quick. The reason why I think about it is because I don't look at Trey Lance as a bust, because nobody knew who he was. He was a project coming out, only had 1 year of starting. Jamarcus Russell was a real, like Jamarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf, they were real NFL prospects. Like I saw Jamarcus Russell win big games in college. He just got to the NFL and didn't do anything. You should
ask Alvin about Ryan Leaf. Yeah, they played together at Washington.
And then he mentally imploded in the NFL. So, but those guys had real NFL talent. Trey Lance, it was a swing and a miss. You know what I mean? So I don't look at people like Mitch Trubisky as a bust or Trey Lance as a bust.
He did what he was supposed to do.
I look at Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell as bust, because those guys had real talent that could have been probably some potential, and they just never realized it. So that's why I brought the question up. When you have potential, when you're a Tim Couch, whatever. Anthony Richardson, whatever. But those aren't busts to me. Guys who have real talent to do something, those guys are really bust. But that's why I brought the question up. So
okay.
But cool. I mean, Trey Lance couldn't win the backup job with Frisco when they signed Sam Darnold. He couldn't win the job in Dallas. So maybe he hangs on and with the Chargers. Who knows?
Hey, I heard this. I'm not making this up. I know it's gonna sound like I did. I heard someone say he's better than Justin Herbert based on these few games. So I don't know.
Were you looking in the mirror when you were looking in the mirror when you said it?
Oh man, that's funny.
Everybody has an opinion down to Facebook stuff. So I don't know who said it. I'm not saying it's right.
Man.
I'm just saying I heard it.
You called her mom.
And it made me laugh.
Okay. That is funny. That's funny.
Shout out to mom.
Good.
I saw it. So there's nothing else.
The Boyd household does not have a lot of love for Justin Herbert.
That is funny.
You guys balance it out, I guess. So we'll see what happens.
Man, we haven't said anything positive about the dude in months.
I ain't saying nothing about him either. I mean, I'm still looking for him to win a playoff game. I'm still looking for him to win a playoff game. So we'll see.
Yeah, you're gonna be looking. All right, so that's what we got. Let's wrap it up with our last few segments, starting with the game ball. Coop, this is your segment. Who gets a game ball this week?
Oh, you know what? I don't even have a game ball. Let's skip me. I don't have a game ball.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Mine was gonna go. I only saw a little bit of it, but that the Dallas Cowboys Jerry Jones documentary thing on Netflix, pretty entertaining. I saw like the first 2 episodes. Pretty entertaining. I can't front. Like they did a good job of putting it together, give it like entertainment value, telling the story of Jerry when he picked up the team, firing Tom Landry and all that. Like a lot of this stuff, I was younger and I really wasn't in my football carrying days yet. So I didn't know all this stuff, like, how Jerry got his money. I had an idea, but actually hearing him tell it, and then they talk about, Jimmy Johnson being his homeboy and how he's going to give him the job. And then they draft Michael Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
And then Troy Aikman too, which, I forget Troy Aikman was the #1 pick that actually lived up to it, balled out and went to UCLA, but
yeah,
it was pretty tight, like how they did it, brought the guys in. And then I don't know if you ever saw the Ravens documentary they did about the 2000s team, where they talk about it and then they show the guy and they have him speak. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna give them that for the production value.
You know what? I do have a game ball. I'm gonna give it to the Raiders. My game ball goes to the Raiders, and here's why. The Raiders are trying to act like a NFL team. They cut Christian Wilkinson a couple weeks ago.
Game ball shady.
Yeah, no. I get what he's trying to say.
They cut Christian Wilkinson a couple weeks ago, 2 days after veterans reported. So obviously they hated that guy and got him out the building despite the guarantees in his contract. They're also making moves, like you said, on defense. Pete Carroll seeing what they have, getting rid of guys, bringing guys in. It was an article out that Tom Brady did not want Sam Darnold, so he hasn't lost his eye for quarterbacking talent. So,
shout out to Tom, right?
Right. So the Raiders are acting like an NFL organization, what Raider fans have been wanting for a long time. And with Pete Carroll there, they have some credibility. Pete Carroll can get rid of guys and nobody is going to question anything. So he's been around. He's had, players give him the finger when they're leaving the field. He knows how to deal with pretty much everything because he's dealt with it at USC or in the NFL. So my game ball is going to the Raiders because they're obviously sending the message that whatever nonsense was going on before is not going to happen anymore. So that's how you operate an NFL team.
All right.
For me,
all right.
Yeah, for me it goes to Rich Eisen, but the unintended consequence of the NFL Network getting bought by ESPN was Rich Eisen's ability to return home and then last night do Sports Center again, which he had not done in 22 years. I only got to see a small portion of it. The clip that I obviously saw was, exactly. Was when he was talking about Stu, and all the onions or all the allergies were hitting when Rich Eisen was talking about that. I think I've said to you at least, or maybe on the show, but most definitely to you, Rich Eisen has become one of the best interviewers, not just sports interviewers. He interviews pop culture people, movie stars, all that kind of stuff. But he has a very, very good way about communicating with people. He put all of that in display last night when talking about Stu and his place at ESPN. It was tear-inducing, but also worthy of a game ball because he did it so perfectly, hadn't missed a beat in all of that time. They did the old school retro intro to the whole thing. I get no money vested in the ESPN purchase of NFL Network, but I'll take that a few more times, hopefully, as a pleasant consequence of that deal. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Rich Eisen and by proxy ESPN for the purchase that made that possible. Get the game ball for me.
Yeah, rest peacefully, Stuart Scott, man. Hogwash. What right now is a bunch of hogwash?
That's Brian's segment. You go ahead and start that, Brian.
So many things. I don't know if we've had a chance to talk about this since the second or third instance in which, there was adult toys thrown at this time, the second time and third time with the Sparks game. But I'm so tired of fans ruining stuff for everybody. So what's a bunch of hogwash is the lack of maturity that permeates women's sports in particular in this instance, but just sports in general. where, fans tend to be a little bit of a
Yeah.
horse's backside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I'll stay in the WNBA though, but for a different reason. My hogwash is people acting like the WNBA has this renaissance going on, and it's not a renaissance. It's just one person propping up the league. The NBA should be in control of the WNBA because they fund the entire league. If it wasn't for the NBA, it wouldn't be a WNBA. When Clayton Clark got hurt, the ratings for WNBA plummeted, and she did not play an All-Star game, and nobody watched that thing. To me, the WNBA right now is Caitlin Clark. If she's not playing, people aren't watching. So I don't know what's going on with social media. People acting like WNBA has these huge ratings because they don't. When she's not playing, the numbers are just so significantly higher when she plays as opposed to when she doesn't. So I'm not a WNBA hater. I don't lose sleep over it because I don't watch it anyway. I will gamble on it though.
I was going to say.
I don't watch anyway. It doesn't change my
No
viewing
more than
habits,
us.
but at the same time though, this whole overblownness of the WNBA. I mean, I still don't know people that watch these games, and I ask a lot of women, you can't pay them to watch WNBA games. I don't hate the product. I'm glad that they have a league, but at the same time, it's not a renaissance of new viewers as people like to make it seem. It's really one person that is the main attraction, and when she plays, then people watch. If she's not playing, then people are not watching. So Caitlin Clark, I mean, she gets a lot of hate, but she's the one that's making people get eyeballs to WNBA games.
Be interesting to talk about some more. I don't want to do it now. Man, I don't really have one, so I think I'm just gonna pass it. I'm not gonna make something up. Minute to win it. Just as always for me, is thank everybody for listening. Hope something great happens to you this week. Post it when it does. Yeah, believe it. Take care of yourselves, and take care of yourselves and your family.
Yeah, mine is just tune in a couple weeks when we go through our predictions. It's always a fun time with me and Brian. Pick who's going to come in first, second, third, and fourth in every single NFL division. We might have some wisecracks, a couple jokes here and there, but it's always
Jason will absolutely hit us with something. Whether it's San Diego winning the Super Bowl, was it San Diego time? It was Charger, or Chicago getting first place in the Central. That was last year's big one.
Yeah,
there's always one.
It's always one. That's right.
Always going to agree that the Raiders are the last.
It's another one. It's another one.
Did I pick the Raiders last year?
Wow. I understand. I understand.
Would you guys come in?
No, I understand. I understand why you did it.
I'm just
yeah.
It's all good. But
that's always a fun show.
2 weeks is the best show. So you guys tune in.
Cool.
Go ahead, B. It's on you, B.
I was just saying thanks for everybody for listening.
No, it's on you.
The only thing, I usually almost always go off sports. Life has its foot firmly ensconced in my backside, but the one thing that was kind of interesting that I actually experienced firsthand is I just so happened to be in the DC area when President Trump, I was going to say something else and then decided to edit it.
Thanks.
But anyways, decided to federalize the DC Police Department. I had dinners in DC every single night last week, in which I went into the city and saw the increased presence and the basic harassment of citizens, all in the name of increased security, because one person who happens to be one of Trump's doji buddies experienced some violence, and so be it. I'm not wishing it on anybody, but to then decide that a place that's having a 25-year low in crime is the most dangerous place in the world and needs to have a federalized police department, while bragging about the fact that he plans on using this model throughout the U.S. So people beware. Remember that the things that he did in Los Angeles were a blueprint for the things he's now done in DC, which were a blueprint for the things that he will do in places near you soon enough. And it's scary. I was there at a conference that had 5,000 people, and a technology conference, and so much of the conversation was about where this was going to go, were things going to get dicey. Could I send members of my team who I employ to our DC office on Thursday and Friday and feel like there was no reason for them to be in danger? And when it's crazy when someone makes a decision like this in the name of security, and the reaction is, are my people safe from the president and the president's men. So, you know, this is my soapbox. Things continue to be scary. The diversion tactics are working. If you've noticed, there's so many crazy things that happen that nobody can focus enough time and attention on any one of them. And there's not going to be a groundswell of energy to go, hey, we got to save DC. Well, we got to deal with LA. We've got to deal with tariffs. We've got to deal with, you know, the Smithsonian talking about, you know, we shouldn't talk about how bad slavery was. He just keeps on firing bullets so that nobody can figure out where they're coming from. But anyways, be wary, be aware. Yeah.
Okay. And join us in 2 weeks when we talk more football.
2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah,
Hell
we'll get to
yeah.
football. All right.
Thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye.